How do we
Notice
look?
anything different?
Yeah, Jeff's wearing a hat. That's different. It's not blue. Is that what you meant?
Yep.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
Board games.
and
Purple hair. Board gamey things.
Yeah, and purple hair. I have purple hair. You may have noticed. We are here today to do our monthly wrap up for the month of October. Isn't that exciting? I think everybody's excited for this.
Ugh.
I know I am. Couldn't tell you why though. Anyhoozle, we are going to talk about all of the games that we played in the month of October, tell you a little bit about them, what we thought, who won, who lost,
This is ridiculous,
the
man.
important things, and what our totals are now for the year. For anybody who doesn't know, we have a little challenge going on between us. It's just something that we do. At the end of the year, we have our Team Jeff, Team Jamie Patreons who are going to be voting on what the loser has to do.
Why did you point at me when you said loser?
I think my hand just kind of went that way. If you are interested in getting in on that voting action, you could check out our Patreon. It's listed down below. Haven't done a plug for it in a while, but there it is.
That's true, we haven't.
Yeah. So, hold the phone. Old hair nose, we call him in Canada. We are just going to jump into it because we have
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29.
we only have 29 games this month.
Only.
That's actually quite a few less than we typically have.
What do we normally have?
Around like 35 to 37.
Okay, well that's not that many less.
Do we even play games? Doesn't feel like it. All right, so the first 4 games are games that we actually don't own because we played them at the Boardroom Game Cafe, located on Barrington Street in Halifax. Go check them out. So the first game that we played is Mr. Jack, and Mr. Jack is a hidden movement board game where one person plays as Jack the Ripper's associate and the other, or like accomplice or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the other person plays as the detective who is trying to find him.
I think that's how it is, isn't it? It's not, you're actually not Jack the Ripper, you're an accomplice.
So you're one of the villagers and the other person doesn't know. So everybody's moving along the board, but one person is actually like a hidden traitor type of thing.
Yeah.
And the other person's trying to figure out which person that is.
And the other one's trying to get off the map.
Yeah, so we played this for spooky season because the theme is a little bit spooky, you know, Jack the Ripper, murder, stuff like that.
Yep.
And we really enjoyed this game.
Yep.
I think we played it twice. Of those 2 times, I won once and Jeff won once.
Why'd you say you think we played it twice? You know we played it twice.
I know we played it twice, but I thought, and then I confirmed
Okay.
in my notebook. Next up, we played Gloom, also at the Boardroom Game Cafe.
Gloom is a set collection
Card game.
set collection card game. The cards are actually transparent, which is super cool.
Yeah.
And ultimately, all you're trying to do is cause enough misery onto each individual person of your family before you kill them.
Yes.
The person who wins has the most
Miserable
family at the end of the game, essentially, and they're all killed.
And they're all dead.
You play cards on top of each character in your family, very like Addams Family-esque theme.
Yeah.
Those cards dictate how much misery, or what's the opposite of misery? Joy.
Happiness.
Joy that people have. So you can actually play cards on the other person's family, which actually makes them more joyful. And it kind of just goes back and forth and back and forth. You eventually decide when you want to kill off a family member.
Yep. Another game for spooky season. And we played this one once and I won. I had the most miserable family. So I liked it. I don't know that you were a huge fan. I was a big fan of this. Like, I really liked this game.
I liked the cards. I thought it was really cool that they were transparent and you just literally
it's
were
like a layering
is
game.
transparent the right word?
Yep. Next at the Boardroom Game Cafe, we played the Bloody Inn. The Bloody Inn is another like card-based game where you are playing as an innkeeper who is trying to kill off all of their guests because you want to take their money. There's a lot of different components. Different guests will arrive and you can either bribe them, you can kill them by shooting them and stuff, then you can bury them, and you could also be caught by the police, and then you have to bribe like a grave digger. So you have to be able to pay the grave digger to be like, cover this up for me. Quite morbid, but it is super fun. So we played this once and Jeff won. I don't think we fully played it correctly.
Didn't.
That's how she goes sometimes. Forgot about the police officers, or we're like, there's no police in this game, because you have to remove a bunch of cards in a 2-player entire game. So I'm like, oh, maybe we removed all of the police officers. But they're just not called police officers, is what we learned.
They all have a different name.
Anyway, Jeff won. I guess it's kind of an asterisk win because we didn't play it correctly. And then finally at the Boardroom Game Cafe, we played Ghost Blitz.
Ghost Blitz is like a dexterity game. You have a bunch of little figures up in the middle of the table. So it's like a red chair, a blue couch, or blue book,
gray mouse,
white ghost,
green bottle.
I don't know how we remembered all of that.
I remember it well.
Anyway, and then you play cards down. And if anything on the card matches one of those figures, you have to grab the figure first.
So you have to grab on the card either the one thing that is on there that is correct, so the blue book, or if the card has everything but this one thing, you have to find the thing that's missing and grab that. So it could be a color or a thing. It's kind of one of those games that makes you go,
Yeah. I was terrible at it. I suck at these types of games. It was fine.
I won. I really liked it. I love those types of games. Fantasy Realms. And Fantasy Realms is from Whiz Kids, and it is designed by Bruce Glasgow. And we played Fantasy Realms a total of 3 times. And by golly, I think I won all 3 times.
I cannot win at this game.
Isn't that funny?
One game I scored my highest ever, which was like, I don't know, I think it was like 230 or something. And Jamie scored like 290.
Or like 300 and some.
Like,
I had an insane card trigger that I knew as soon as I got it, I was like, he doesn't stand a chance because it was going to give me an insane amount of points.
It sucks though because I never win this game, but I love it.
Yeah,
I love playing it, and I know I'm never going to win, so I'm just padding her stats.
Exactly. So this is strictly just a card-based game where it's kind of like set collection, or Jeff would say, no, it is set collection. But basically, you have a hand of cards, and you're drawing cards or picking up cards from the middle of the table to try and help all of your cards trigger off each other to maximize points in your hand. This is what Red Rising was based off of, which we've done a review of Red Rising if you'd like to see it. We'll link it below. But this is kind of just a very condensed, quick card game that's easy to get to the table. And it is insanely fun. Like, I love this game big time. Second
star to the left, Michelle and Billy mentioned to us that there's like a calculator that you can find for this game.
Yes.
There used to be an app. We couldn't find the app, but there is a GitHub website you can go to. And you literally just pick your cards and it calculates everything for you.
It makes it
so much easier. From Repo's production and designed by Antoine Bauza. We did a playthrough of this. You can go check it out. Ghost Stories is I'm going to call it tower defense because I think it is. Co-op tower defense where you have a bunch of ghosts and spooky things trying to overtake a village, and your job is to repel these ghosts and protect your village from becoming overcome with too many haunts. We played this twice and lost both times. So Ghost Stories has a badge of honor associated with it because it's an incredibly difficult game, but we'll get there eventually.
And it is so hard. It is so good. I love
it's so fun. It's so fun. Go check out our playthrough if you're interested.
Next, we played a new favorite of mine, and that is That's Pretty Clever, or Gonchon Clever. And this is from Stronghold Games and is designed by Wolfgang Warsch. That's Pretty Clever is a roll and write game, and I feel like in its most purest form. It is literally, there's no theme, it's just you roll the dice and you cross things off on your score sheet, and you're just trying to maximize your points. It is quick, it is easy to play, but not so easy to master. And we played this a total of 2 times this past month. I played it solo a few times, but I obviously didn't count those, but this is a fantastic solo game. Of those 2 times, Jeff won once and I won once, and the one time that I won, I think it was the highest score that I ever got.
You haven't broken 300 yet.
No, so that's kind of like, you're really trying to get over 300. And I have not been able to do that yet. Have you? No.
It reminds me of like back in the day, like my mom used to have like an electronic Yahtzee game.
Oh my god.
It reminds me of that, where you're just playing over and over and over again in order to like get the high score. Next up, we have one of my favorites, and this is from Sandcastle Games and designed by Tom Lehman, and that's Res Arcana. Res Arcana is a incredibly tight engine builder. We play it without the draft variant, which I prefer. So basically you are dealt a hand of cards, minimal amount of cards, and it's up to you to maximize your engine with those cards. Ultimately, all you're trying to do is get to 10 points. The first person to 10 points wins. I love Res Arcana. Res Arcana is quickly becoming one of my favorite games. We're actually teaching it to our friends Michelle and Billy.
Second star to the left. Go subscribe.
Yep. I will play this game anytime someone suggests it. Love
Played it twice. Jeff won once and I won once. My first Res Arcana win. Next up, we played a round of Sushi Go Party, which is from Game Right, designed by Phil Walker Harding. Ooh, the lid is popping off. This game is popping. Sushi Go Party is a simple set collection card drafting game. We've talked about it before. It's freaking adorable. It's a great filler game. We love it. We still haven't played with anything but the base game in Sushi Go Party, because usually when we reach for this, it's because we want something quick that we know really well that we're just gonna, play at night or something. But we played this once and I won, because I am the queen of Sushi
Another
Go.
game I never, ever win.
That's because Jeff always goes for the wasabi.
Listen, if anyone's played this game,
time.
if anyone's played this game and knows the wasabi card, you know why. It's the cutest thing in board games.
Yeah, even if he doesn't know that there's gonna be
I don't care.
Nagini to put on it, or not Nagini, Nagiri. Nagini is the snake from Harry Potter.
Nagiri. All right, next up is from Brotherwise, designed by Chris and Johnny O'Neill.
The brothers themselves.
The brothers themselves, and that is Call to Adventure. We finally got it to the table, and let me tell you,
Jeff loves it.
I frigging love this game. I want to give a quick shout out to Brotherwise for one specific reason. We seem to have, myself and them, incredibly similar tastes.
Yes.
There's a Name of the Wind expansion to this that I haven't played yet. I do own it.
Yeah,
Name of the Wind is my favorite book of all time.
I also love that book.
And my second favorite book of all time is A Stormlight Archive, which this has a version of.
Yes.
Crazy. And their other games have, this is a bit of a fanboy sesh.
Overboss.
They have Super Nintendo based, like 8-bit, 16-bit-esque artwork in some of their games. Like, I don't know. They're not going to go to the park in terms of my preference.
Yeah.
Essentially, you are building out a character.
Yes.
And you're going on adventures, and you're
on an adventure.
defeating monsters, you're overcoming events in order to build out the best adventure you can.
Story. Yeah. It's like your character and the story that they're going on.
Yeah. You're building out an adventure. In order to win, you just need to maximize your points.
Yes. We played this once and Jeff did win. He built out a better person than me, which is
A better adventure.
garbage.
Which makes sense.
Next up, we have Fort, which is one of my favorite games. It's from Leader Games, designed by Grant Roderick. Put your hands down, Jeffrey, because I don't care for spoilers. Anyway.
Okay, you started this whole video smashing me.
So Fort is another card-based game where I've talked about this a million times. We have videos like how to play and a playthrough on this, but you are just a bunch of kids building out your fort, making friends, eating pizza, playing with toys, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Love this game. Freaking love this game. We played this once and Jeff won.
I'm very good at this game.
I hate losing this game, and I feel like I can never win. I know I've won this game before. You guys know how much I love winning, so despite that, I still love this game. This is a fantastic game.
It's so good.
And look, I'm wearing Kyle Farron today, too.
All right, next up from Pegasus Spiel.
Yep, Johannes Sitch.
Johannes Sitch, MicroMacro Crime City. I feel like we've talked about this before, but MicroMacro Crime City is adult Where's Waldo. Huge map on the table, and you have clues that you need to follow on this map. The card will say, like, this thing happened in this location, and then you need to go find that person on the map and what happened.
Where did he drop the murder weapon?
Where did he drop the murder weapon? We've really been enjoying this a ton. One thing I'd recommend is we actually went out and bought some little like see-through token-esque things so that we can mark stuff on the map.
We've played probably like 7 cases so far.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I don't know
so we're
how many
starting
there
to
are.
get to the more complex ones. Yeah, I'm just so excited to continue on with this. I love it. It's just fun. It's kind of like a fun activity that we could do together where
more activity than board game,
you know,
in my
and
opinion.
now we have this tall table and we put it out on the table and we can like walk around and we're both looking and Next up we have Lords of Hellas from Awaken Realms, designed by Adam Kwapinski.
Developed
by Marcin Swierkot. This is a dudes on the map game.
Area control.
Area control, and it is all about the Greek gods with a bit of a sci-fi twist, or a Cyclops twist. Not Cyclops twist. Cyber twist. Jeff has put out a video on this, all about, it's just kind of like an overview of the game and everything, so we won't go into too much detail, but we both really enjoyed this game.
Very much enjoyed this. This is the predecessor to the current game that's on GameFound. Go check it out, Lords of Ragnarok. I love the fact that there's multiple paths to victory in this game.
Next up, we have a couple of games that we do not own, and the first one is called Colt Express. And let me tell you, this game knocked our socks off.
Oh man, did it ever.
So we played on BGA with our friends over at Nerds of the West, all the way over in Australia.
Go check them out.
Definitely
Awesome people.
go check them out. They have YouTube, they have Twitch, all the good
Yep.
stuff. And we had a freaking ton of
Such
fun
a blast.
playing this game. I think that there were like 7 of us. Oh, and there was also Steven from the Board Game House.
Yes.
Also on
Sorry.
Twitch.
Yes. Also Steven.
Also Steven on, Board Game House Twitch. We'll link everything down
Yes.
below. Definitely go and check all of them out. So this is a game where you are on a train, but Jeff says it's not a train game.
It's
but
not
you
a
are
train game.
on a train.
You're literally just on a train.
There's like
It's
a
not
3D train. And you are playing as a different character, and you're basically robbing, shooting, and trying to get away from the, what was the little...
The sheriff, the deputy.
The deputy. What?
Sequence game.
Oh, okay.
So similar to in the vein of like Mechs versus Minions, where before your turn starts, you're playing cards down
Oh, yes.
in order to manipulate your character. So you will each go through and lay cards down. It might be climb up the train, grab loot, move. That all happens first.
Yep.
And then later on in the round, after everyone's played their cards, then your character follows your sequence of cards that you've played. So obviously things change and that sort of thing. But super fun.
So fun.
I don't think this would play amazing at a smaller player count. I think
No.
this is one where you want like 5 or 6 people to be playing.
Yeah, we loved it so much. And then they told us that there's actually a version called Colt Super Express.
Yeah.
So we actually have that one coming as well from Asmodee. And I am just...
Do we have Super Express coming? Or
Yes, Super Express.
Are you sure?
Positive. The only downfall is it doesn't come with a 3D train. So that was me. Then we also played on BGA with the Nerds of the West crew, 7 Wonders. And we played this twice. We played Colt Express twice. We didn't win at all. The Nerds of the West people won.
They won all
of them. But it's been forever since we played 7 Wonders.
Yeah, the non-dual version.
So really, I was just kind of poking around and just trying to figure out what the heck I was doing, which I still don't really know what I was doing, but it was still a lot of fun.
Yeah. I just want to say quickly, because I've mentioned this before, like, I still prefer 7 Wonders Duel.
Yeah.
But I'm actually a little bit less hard on original 7 Wonders now. I don't think there's ever an instance where I would pick it over Duel.
No.
But it wasn't quite as bad as I remembered it. Next up from 8EG and designed by Eric Anderson Sundin, we have Whirling Witchcraft. So Whirling Witchcraft is a...
So pretty.
What type of mechanic is it? You're putting stuff into your cauldron and then you exchange your cauldron with the other player. And then that player removes ingredients from their cauldron and puts into their play area.
Their workbench.
There's so many slots for certain types of ingredients that if they have too many, they have to give them back to you.
Yeah.
And the first person to get 5 given back to them wins the game.
You want to overwhelm them with ingredients. So you got to pay attention to what they have a lot of. And the cards that you're getting are like, okay, you're exchanging this ingredient for these 2 ingredients and this ingredient for this, this, and this. And then it's kind of like a cascading effect. There's also variable player powers in this because you could play with a basic witch or you can play with one of the special witches and they each have their own type of power. We played this a total of 3 times, and of those 3 times, I won twice and Jeff won once.
There is, in my opinion, one overpowered witch you can play as, which Jamie did. Jamie agreed, so if she denies it here...
I deny it here. It's not true.
We'll let you uncover that on your own.
Next up, we played Canvas from R2I Games, and this is a game where you're building out pieces of art. Same vein as like Gloom with the transparent cards.
Yep.
You get a background to start with. You get some objectives that you are trying to hit, so like certain colors, certain patterns, certain shapes.
Yep.
And then you could put a maximum of 3 of those layered art pieces on top of the background, and whoever scores the most points wins.
Yeah. Each card you put in has like a name associated with it.
Yes.
And at the end, when you have 3 in and you've created your artwork, it gives it a name.
Yeah.
And it's beautiful. Like, it's incredible.
This game,
It's really fun. I actually liked it way, way, way more than I thought I would.
We played it once and decided not to put in the winner.
Oh, right.
But I won. But anyways, we decided not to.
Yeah, because we played it.
Yeah, but we also played the Bloody Inn incorrectly and you won. but it's
All right,
fine.
give
Doesn't
yourself the-
matter.
give
We're
yourself
not
the
going to
W.
count it.
All right, next up from Arcane Wonders, designed by John Perry, we have Air, Land, and Sea, the
Just a little
non-critter version.
Yeah.
The OG. Air, Land, and Sea is a quick card game.
For 2 players.
There's 3
Theaters.
theaters of war.
Theaters.
So you have Air, Land, and Sea, theaters of war.
Yep.
And you're playing tanks, planes, and ships with special abilities, victory points associated with them, and ultimately you're just trying to
You're trying to control 2 of the 3 theaters by the end of the round.
Yeah.
And
you score points accordingly
it's
to
the
how
first,
much.
The first to a certain number of points wins. I can't remember what
Yeah,
that number is.
I can't either. There's a cool mechanic in this though, where if you feel like you're overrun, you can withdraw.
Yes.
And that actually limits how many points the victor of that round gets.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some strategy of like, I can't win this, but if I withdraw right now, depending on how many cards you have in your hand, you can actually negate some of their points, which is really cool. I was really wanting Jamie to play like this theme, like, because I'm a big history guy. I love war theme stuff. And so this was kind of our compromise, and I'm really glad we did, because it's a really great game.
It's a really good game and an excellent travel game.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
I'm assuming we will probably get the critter version at some point, and then this will go into obscurity, and it will not be played anymore, and we'll cull it to one of our friends. But
played it once, and Jeff won. One for you. Next up, we played Funfair, and Funfair is from Good Games Publishing, designed by Joel Finch. And this is a game about building out your amusement park. You can build up to 5 attractions, which includes things like thrill rides and food stands and shops and things like that. And then you can also hire staff, yada, yada, yada. And you are trying to build out the best theme park. There are different objectives that you can reach. All this good stuff. Mover thing is people in a roller coaster. I personally love this game. I don't know how you felt about it.
I really like the theme of it. I don't know if it's a game I really will.
I feel like if we had the unfair version, you'd probably like it more.
Likely.
Like, you get this one super attraction, and mine was like this ride that was like the evil queens, like whatever, and yours
Mine was
really
like
cool.
basically an Indiana Jones roller coaster.
Every time like something came up, I was like, I want that in my park.
Yeah, I mean, if you like Roller Coaster Tycoon and you like that kind of like genre and theme and stuff, you'll like this game. It was fun. It was fun.
We played this once, and I won. Fun. Funfair.
Next up from
Hexa
House Games, and designed by
Titanen
Gamson.
Titanen Gamson.
Victim, The Asylum. I'm going to move these because they're massive and beautiful, as you can see. Victim is a
board game. Starts out as co-op and then turns into somebody gets possessed.
Yeah, it's like if you've played any of the Betrayal games, it's like that. Eventual, co-op turns competitive game where eventually someone's going to turn against the group. Dead of Winter is another one that I can think of. And eventually someone will become possessed and work against the group.
They'll turn into an evil.
We did a full review of these games. Go check it out if you want to know more.
So we played Cursed Forest, which is the original, twice. I won once and Jeff won once. And then we played The Asylum once, and Jeff won that one. Nobody ever won as the victims. That game, one thing I will say, definitely go check out the review, but it is very difficult, very punishing. Next up, we have Rolling Realms from Stonemaier Games, designed by Jamie Stegmaier, I assume. And this is another roll and write game. This is a game that Jamie Stegmaier actually developed during COVID that people could print out and play on their own, and then he decided to make it a production copy. We will be doing a full review on this, so I'm not going to say too much, except that I really liked it a heck of a lot. How did you feel? We only played it once, so can't really say too much.
I'm really into the Rolling Realms,
I'm really into the Rolling
I'm really into the Rolling Rights and Flipping Rights and stuff right now. I think it falls like above average for me. There's something in this game that you'll see in the review that bugs me a little bit. And it has nothing to do with the gameplay or anything. It's a component thing.
Yeah.
Anywho.
So we played this once, and Jeff did win. Whatever.
All right, next up from Ravensburger Games, we have Disney's Hocus Pocus. So, interestingly enough, we walked into this with, like, a lot of people were like, oh, it's not a great game.
Yeah, they're like, this is a terrible game.
It's not good, blah, blah, blah. It's probably just going to live on your shelf.
Then
we played it. And we're like, this game's actually really fun and very difficult. So I think that's the problem. people expect it to be like this cute light game. It is insanely difficult.
Yeah, it's not easy to win.
It's so hard. Ultimately, in Hocus Pocus, it's a cooperative game,
Yeah.
and you're trying to collect ingredients around a board
Mhm.
in order to stun one of the 3 witches.
Yeah, and you have to do that 3 times.
You have to do that 3 times, and each witch is stunned a different way. It
Yeah.
could be all the 5 colors match,
Yeah.
all the 5 ingredients and the colors match,
Yeah.
etc., etc. You win if you stun the witches 3 times, and it is not easy because there's event cards that'll come up,
Spell cards
spell
that the witches
cards that the
cast
witches
on
cast
you.
against you. And Binks is there to help you, the little cat. I had a lot of fun playing this,
Yeah.
shockingly, because I did not think
Same.
I would, but
We played this 3 times. We won once. The last game, just everything fell into place
Yeah.
perfectly in that last game. The first 2 games, we were like,
we got crushed.
we're like, this is freaking impossible.
We got
And
crushed.
expecting it to be like this super light game, and we're like, not that it's a heavy game. The mechanics are very easy.
Strategy-wise.
But strategy-wise, there's luck-based because it's, of course, all about the luck of the draw. And I love the theme. I love Hocus Pocus. I love the game. I love everything about this game. That's Hocus Pocus.
Focus, focus.
Next up from Awakened Realms, we have Siege Storm, and this is designed by Marcin Swierkot. And this is a 2-player only card dueling game where one person is playing as
Good
like
guys,
the
bad guys.
light side and one is the dark side.
Yeah.
Like you're basically just playing cards that are going up this track. Eventually they'll come out and you can choose to fight with them. You can choose to use them to pay for things later or use them as like a protection type of thing. And we played this once and I won. This game is great.
I want to say something quickly.
Okay.
This has one of the coolest mechanics I've seen in a dueling deck game. Your deck that you're drawing from is your hit points.
Yes.
Ultimately, I'm trying to defeat Jamie. She's trying to defeat me by
Depleting
our deck draws.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
Yeah, me too.
Apparently, there's a ton of content around this too.
So we played the most basic mode. So there's like not a training mode, but like just your standard cards. It also comes with another little stack of cards for each side. You can actually build your own decks with these. So each deck has to be 34 cards. So you could kind of go through, build your own deck, and then play that way, which we haven't done. I hadn't heard anything about it, and I really, really liked it.
I did too.
Yeah, we like a good old classic card.
Yeah, I'm really discovering that I like those dueling card games.
Yeah.
Next up from Thunderworks Games, designed by Jordy
Adden.
Adden, we have Cartographers. We finally played
Finally did it.
Cartographers, and did I ever crush it? I really liked Cartographers.
Yeah.
I wish we had played with colored pencils, but ultimately in Cartographers, in the role player world, universe, whatever you want to state, you have a map and you're basically building out territories on that map to score points.
Yeah. There's certain objectives that you have to
There'll be
get.
objectives up on the board that you have to achieve. The person with the most points at the end wins. I absolutely adored this.
Cartographers. We played that once and Jeff won. Next up we have...
I don't like how quickly you dismiss my wins.
Next up we have Jurassic Parts from 25th Century Games, designed by Kevin Lansing. It is an area control majority set collection game. There is a huge map of hexagonal tiles that have dinosaur bones on them. Some of them are flipped up so you can see what they are. Some of them are flipped over so you can't. And you have these little chisel pieces that you're using to break off bits of the game board, and whoever has the most chisels wins the majority of those tiles. If somebody else also has a chisel in there, they will get some of the tiles as well. And so basically you're just trying to control the most of that area for when it breaks off so you get the most of those tiles. And then it turns into a set collection game where you're trying to build out a dinosaur, and there's like 6 different dinosaurs that you can build out, and as soon as you build one, then you get a piece of amber that you can sell later, and each of the dinosaurs are worth different points. So whoever has the most points at the end wins. Classic board game. Definitely looking forward to playing it with more people.
Yeah, 100%.
We played it once and I won. Dinosaur
Shockingly,
Queen,
because
Dinosaur
I
Queen.
completed the largest dinosaur, the Brachiosaurus.
Bronchiosaurus.
I was very shocked. that
Doesn't
she won.
matter. I had 2 T-Rexes. What are you going to
Crazy.
fight me? You can't because I have T-Rex.
Next
2 of
up
them.
from Arcane Wonders.
Yep.
Designed by Ivan Lashin. We have Furnace. Furnace is strict engine building.
Yes.
It has a
it has
bit
a
of-
theme.
It has a theme of literally you are building stuff to put into a furnace. Oil, coal.
Oil, coal, iron.
There is a bit of an auction element, and I'm only saying it's a bit of an auction element because there's really no back and forth in the auction. There's no bartering. You're putting tokens down, and whoever has the highest on the card gets that card. Cool mechanic though, if you lose the auction part, you actually get resources. Amy didn't love the theme, but I do, and I think the artwork's incredible in this game.
I hate to break this to everyone, but this game is not cute. So we played this once and Jeff did win. So, anywho.
So friggin' dismissive.
Next up, we have Mind Management, and this is from Off the Page Games, designed by Jay Cormier and Sen-Foong Lim. This game is a hidden movement game where one person is playing as a recruiter and the other person is playing as rogue agents. The recruiter has a hidden grid that looks just like the board, and they are circling certain locations, going to those locations to pick up recruits. The rogue agents are trying to capture the recruiter before they can collect a certain number of recruits. This game, I love. It is so much fun. We played it 5 times. Of those 5 times, I won 3 times and Jeff won 2 times. Jeff was not so keen to start with, but I think you came around.
The first game we did not play correctly, and I felt like the game was broken, but it was us, not the game.
Yeah, we were broken.
Which makes a lot of sense.
We were broken, not the game. Last game of the month, Jeffrey. Best for last.
From Bezier Games, designed by Ted Alspach. What do you think it is?
I know what it is. Silver Bullet.
Silver Bullet.
Duh.
The OG.
The OG.
This one hasn't gotten to the table as much as we would like it to.
Nope.
We have to own that. We've just been busy
playing other games.
Playing other games and doing stuff that we need to do for the channel. Late one night, we were like, honestly, it was like 11 o'clock and we just played a bunch of games and we're like, let's play one game of this.
Yeah.
And it might have been the most epic game of Silver Bullet we've ever played. I was ahead by a minimal amount.
I won.
Yeah.
By 1 point.
She did.
Those are all of the games that we played in the month of October. So our totals are, in the month of October, I won 19 games and Jeff won a total of 15 games.
Garbage.
And if we are looking at the end of the year totals, that brings us up to me with 180 wins and Jeff with 183.
Down to the wire, people.
So I am only down by 3. So Team Jamie supporters, now is the time to come out from under the rocks. And wherever else you may be hiding.
There's only one under the rocks.
Dan.
But he's not even under the rocks anymore.
I have a secret agent.
Yeah, he's not a secret agent. He's been identified.
Rawr. We played a ton of new games, got a lot of stuff off of our shelf of shame.
Winter's coming, so it's about to be board game city up in here.
Winter is coming. Very excited.
We're getting close to 3,000 subs.
That's true.
And we have an amazing giveaway at 3,000.
Mm-hmm.
Could I say it's a very vast giveaway?
So that is all that we have for you guys today. If you're interested in buying board games, I would recommend checking out your friendly local gaming store. And for us here in Halifax, that is
Board Game Cafe.
Exactly. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing to us here at Foster the Meeple. We would love to have you as part of our Fostered Meeple gang. Community, not gang.
Gang invokes a very negative.
Thank you guys for watching. We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Later days.
I also need to wipe off my screen because you keep thinking that it's a touch screen. Got your fingerprints all over it.
Well worth the, the lookup and utilization.
Yes, lookup and utilization. Both very well worth.
Even though our good friend Jake loves to use the dragons.
Jake loves dragons.
This one's been shitting on...
It has?
How embarrassing is that?
It doesn't even have a butt.
How childish.
That we laughed that you said that.
They're
like glass
clear
stones.
Through.
Is what
clear
they're
through. What?
I'm dying.
Do that all over again.